Hey there, guys. Welcome to the review of The Last of Us Part 2. Um, so, thoughts on the game. So, two different things, right? So, we can look at the game as either a standalone game or as a sequel to The Last of Us 1, that's why it's called The Last of Us Part 2. So, um, I don't want to play along into this whole hate game that a lot of people follow, right? So if few critics say that they hate the game or few gamers say that they hate the game, then everybody hates the game. And I'm just trying to give you guys my perspective, my view on this game. So for me, I can look at it both ways, like I was saying. If it's a standalone game, it's a good game. It's not a terrible game. What else can I say? The story is very depressing. It's very dark. Nobody wins. And I guess some people like that type of movies, games, storytelling, books. I don't know. You name it. It's a style that some people like it and they are a fan of. Not me. I'm not a fan of this type of style of storytelling. Other than that, this game it holds its own pretty well. It's not a terrible game. Now, for everybody who played The Last of Us, the very first one, it's this game is a tough game. Just because the main characters, yes, it's Ellie and Joel, but you start off the game of The Last of Us, the very first game, with Sarah and Joel on his birthday. And you are right away attached to Joel from him losing his daughter. Spoiler alert, in case if you guys haven't played the very first game. And you follow his story, and he wants nothing to do with Ellie in the first game. And eventually he saves her from her dying because they want to make a vaccine, hence him killing the doctor, which is Abby's dad. Okay, in that first game, you're like, well, that's a selfish move to him. Or for him, by him, it's a selfish move. And didn't even ask Ellie if she wanted to sacrifice herself for a vaccine. Which, okay, I guess so, right? But once you come to The Last of Us 2, your expectations are actually pretty high from the very first game. And it's a very, very huge letdown when Abby ends up killing Joel. That I could see why a lot of people would want to just stop playing the game, because that just kills the whole thing from The Last of Us 1. Because now you are fed into playing this game of just two perspectives, which this is what the game is about. It's about revenge. It's about two different perspectives, Ellie's perspective and Abby's perspective. And I think this is where they went wrong. I don't know if they couldn't come up with a better idea of what to write about. It does make sense that people would want to come back and do some payback on Joel from all the people he has killed from the very first The Last of Us, or during this stretch of, I believe it's like 5 years. There's always going to be payback, of course. And I just don't know if this is the best way that they were to come out of telling this story. It's just very heartbreaking, and for a fan of the first one, I don't know. It just sucks that he has to die, and the way he dies, you don't even give him a shot, a chance to fight back. Nothing. He's just completely blindsided by him saving Abby, and she takes him and Tommy into their cabin where they're set, and they just kill him there. Ellie gets to see everything, which for me it doesn't make sense that they would leave Ellie alive. I don't see why. Um, in real life, of course, it's just game, but in real life, they would have just killed Tommy, Joel, and Ellie once she was there, and they were done. They would have been done with that, and they would have left. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of a little rambling of me, right? Because I did make some notes, and that's actually what I'm going off. So the good and the bad, right? I'll do with the good. With the good, I'll say the gameplay. Gameplay is awesome. The graphics are real cool. Also, the cutscenes, once you go from gameplay to cutscene to gameplay, is very smooth. The boss fights are pretty intense. The Rat King, well, that was epic. That was so awesome. The bad, I gotta go with the story. I think it's a bad story. It was dragged out. At a certain point, I just wanted the game to kind of end. I didn't really quite. I'm not saying I didn't care how it ended. I just felt. I don't know exactly what, but I just felt the game was taking too long. On a certain point, once you start helping Yara and Lev in their town, you're kind of, it's a little bit too much, especially going into the Rattlers. That's a little bit too much as well. It's just way too dragged out. And the other thing is the ending. I do not like the ending. I have to actually talk about this a little bit more in depth. I hate almost everything with the ending. It just sucks that you see Ellie lose everything in this game. She loses Joel. She ends up losing Dina and her son. She pretty much loses the relationship with Tommy because Tommy wanted her to get payback because she promised payback. She lost everything. Worst thing was that she lost her two her ring finger and pinky finger on her left hand, which stopped her from playing the guitar. That's something that connected her to Joel, and that was pretty much the only thing that connected her to Joel at that time, or at the end of the game. And it sucks. I mean, she lost everything. And she ends up leaving out of the farm where she was already kind of happy, I guess, with Dina and her son. But I don't. That just sucks, That just sucks to see that happen. If people, I've heard people say that maybe she's still with Dina, and she just came back to that farmhouse to visit. But if that's true, then the game and the storytelling did a very bad job on explaining that. That's why I don't believe that's what happened, because she's coming back to a home where she knows that that's where she was living at now, and she lost that. So you see these two perspectives where nobody wins. Everybody not dies, but everybody has a pretty grim ending. Lev, he loses his sister, and he ends up killing his own mom. That's pretty dark and brutal. What else? Abby, she loses Owen. She loses all her friends. She loses her community, the wolves. So she loses everything, and she's trying to search she's trying to search for the fireflies now, you know, again, and you don't know how that's gonna go, and it just sucks. And then for Ellie, we don't know if she lost her community, you know, with Jackson. She loses everybody too. I mean, at the end of the game, that's why the story for me just sucks. You know, it's just a revenge game, and at the end, you don't really get the revenge. And if you're gonna get the revenge, you know, it's not the best way. You know, Abby is pretty much all beaten up. She's trying to do the right thing by helping Lev, and here you're Ellie trying to kill her for killing Joel, and it just sucks. It just sucks. You as a player, of course, you want to end up killing Abby, but not that way. You know, not that way. And I don't know. I think they want to set up a third game, but I don't know how people are gonna react to it. I just hate that, since, like I said, this game is a sequel to The Last of Us 1. I just think they could have done better in storytelling. You had everything down. You had the graphics, you had the good gameplay, the awesome boss fights, the interactions with your partners, just all these things, you know, that we're going for and that I loved from the game. And then the story just pretty much just kills it for me. You know, it's like I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I hope you guys can understand from where I'm coming from. So this game, if somebody wants to replay it, I don't know if I would. I could, but I don't feel like I want to. If I do play, it's going to be pretty much only for the boss fights and killing zombies and enemies, but I'm not going to be invested in anything else. If I had to score the game from 1 out of 10, I'll give it maybe 6.5, 7.5, between that range. But that's pretty much it. That's as high as I will go. I don't know if I'm missing anything else on this review. I just gave my thoughts, what I think of the game, and you know, just trying to give my own perspective on the game. So great graphics, like I said, great interaction, good boss fights. Just the story just killed it for me. Very depressing, very sad. Everybody loses. It's just, I don't know. I hate the number one thing that I hate the most is just killing Joel off right on the beginning of the game, and the way they do it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It sucks. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for me. I might be doing some more play-alongs from other games, maybe, if another interesting game comes out. I had very, very high hopes for The Last of Us 2, and I mean, it's okay. But alright, I'll go ahead and catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for following this journey with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.